Bang. The late adopter. Hi guys, how you doing? Welcome to a new Bitcoin video, and today we are down minus 1.41%, and this is the line that we do not want to break. I'm gonna explain to you why we do not want to cross this line and what can happen if we cross the line. Also, I'm gonna talk about weekly close. Today is Monday, so it is a very bearish weekly close, but we're gonna also say why it's not actually, end all be all. But there is a lot of fear definitely going on in the markets right now, so might be some kind of button. I still believe this is the button. I'm gonna explain to you why. I'm gonna explain to you what has to happen to change my mind, and that's basically the line. So let's go into the charts and see what's happening, guys. So this is some kind of falling wedge, like I'm not quite sure if it's falling wedge or it's maybe some kind of channel. There are discussions of whether this is a channel or a falling wedge, because somebody says this is a wedge, like I drew it. Somebody says this is some kind of channel or something like this up here. It can be both of these things. Maybe channels looks a little bit more nicer. Maybe the wedge looks a little bit more nicer. I actually don't like this wedge because I think it's pretty long wedge. So I'm more on a channel kind of guy. But I like the wedge as well. But I think wedge is hope. You might think channel is more correct. Doesn't really matter. This is the line down here that we do not want to break. So what happens if we break this line? I explained this before. When you got some kind of trend and you break the trend, what happens when you break the trend is you change direction of the trend. You change the speed of the trend. So this goes very goes towards the upside. Right now it goes maybe sideways. You break that, you go down, and when you break that, you increase speed. So you increase or decrease the speed of something when you break the trend. Breaking this trend down, right now we are going the downside direction. Breaking this trend towards the upside would mean that this downtrend is kind of right now we can go a little bit sideways. Maybe we might still continue going a little bit down, but it's not the same speed. So breaking the trend changes the speed. Now what happens if you break this trend over here on the downside? And that's why I'm saying this this line down here is very important. The same thing that happened over here, it went actually something like this up here. This trend up something like this up here. I think we drew something like yeah, don't make me draw it again. It was something like it was up here. Okay, it was something like this up here, and we said we do not want to break this this line up here because this is a downtrend. Technically this is a downtrend. You break this, you're gonna increase the speed, you're gonna dump big time. Also it was very important date, so we dump big time. The same thing can happen here because this is a very steep downtrend line that's right now going on. If we break that on the downside, this line over here, if we break it on the downside, close below the line, we don't care actually about the wicks, but if you do close below the line down here, that might indicate a bigger that might indicate that the speed is going to increase towards downside. We might have a bigger dump, so you might have I don't know if you're gonna experience another one of these flash crashes for the day, or what's gonna happen. We just might increase the speed faster towards downside. But if you do that, we might be getting into some kind of capitulation area down here, and that might also be actually a quite good sign for us, because this split towards downside, if we pump towards the upside, we're gonna reset a lot of stuff, and then we can go even further down without actually upsetting the market too much. Now we're gonna upset the market very much if we drop down heavily very soon towards downside. If you do that, I'm looking at some kind of very speedy recovery after that. So I'm still on the bandwagon of this being the bottom down here. I still think we need some kind of bounce up here, but if we do cross this line on the downside and close down here, I would be be getting worried, because this is breaking the trend. This is the trend right now. You do not want to break this line. If you break this line on the downside, close below the line, that's when the problems that's when problems arise. This is the panic area. That's when we start panicking. Oh man, that's bad. Right now it's not panic area because we are moving a little bit on the downside, so we still got a whole bunch of price to go all the way down here without any problems whatsoever. I already think that this down here is pretty close to some kind of bottom, so we're gonna see how that actually plays out. There is another thing that I want to talk about, and that's the RSI divergence is coming to a close. Let's just remove these two quickly up here. RSI divergence is coming to a close. What I mean by coming to a close, what I mean is oftentimes when you have some kind of impulsive move, you get these moves, zigzag moves, where the price and the RSI goes in the opposite direction. You see down here, it goes in opposite direction. That means that, you know, the price and RSI are trying to figure, you know, trying to get back in sync with each other. Once they are in sync with each other, that's when the big moves can happen. And right now, what you're gonna note up here is that the price and the RSI is actually technically in sync with each other. The bottom part is right now testing it. If it closes below and this pulls down, it will be in sync. If it closes above, it will still be in sync. So this is, I think this is the last day, today or tomorrow, like two more days, and a big move will come, because once this is you know, played out and it's in sync with the RSI, some big move often happens. So this is what we have been waiting for all along. Once these divergences start happening, we are waiting for these divergences to stop happen. And once they stop happen, since this is a lag indicator, that's the only thing we can get out of this, is that we right now know, you know, the big moves is gonna come, and we are looking actually towards the upside, not actually towards the downside, because I just told you, if we break the bottom down here, if we break this on the downside, the price will increase towards the downside and will, you know, go into some kind of parabolic bottom down here. It might be a good thing, because, you know, you might get you know, buy cheap alts, everything will explode towards the downside, and if you buy the bottom, it will have a nice move towards the upside, some kind of volatile, you know, big move towards the upside, because I don't think this is just gonna, you know, continue going towards the downside without any kind of pump towards the upside again, because we've been just going, you know, ever since, you know, 68,000, we've been just, you know, crashing towards downside without actually any kind of big moves towards the upside. So I think we need some kind of bigger move towards the upside, maybe around I said like 54,000 level up here or something like that, maybe a little bit higher up here. We're gonna see how far we get when we get to that point. When we start going up, we're gonna talk about some kind of resistance on the upside. But right now, the thing to know, I won't even say about any kind of support levels down here that we need to follow. The only line you have to follow is this line down here. If we break this line on the downside, not just, you know, close with, not just with the wick, you know, break and pull right back up again. If we go down and close below here, that's when the problem actually arises, and that's what we don't want to see. That's what where we don't want to be. So not yet time to panic. I think still everything still looks fine. I know markets are, you know, a little bit shaky and stuff like that, you know. Everything looks like, you know, it's very bad, but, you know, that's when usually, you know, some kind of reversal comes and we go in opposite direction. So I'm still bullish. I'm still looking at this on some kind of bottom. I still think we're gonna go towards the upside, but if it doesn't and goes down, you know, that's when you panic. Anyways, guys, hit the like button on the way out. Check out the new channel. Need 1,000 subs, you know. Thanks for subbing to that channel, you know, trying to pump the numbers on that channel. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. See you around. Bye-bye.
That was genius.
Thank you.
Great job.
You guys did it. No, it's you.